Let's fucking go. Quest Archon atau quest dunia? Coba. Archon lah bos. Archon nih. Archon nih bos. Archon. 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 Archon Slayer nih. Archon Slayer. Archon. Archon. If you go.
Kau tadi ngaji? Ngaji atau nyanyi?
Kenapa?
Iya, dengar di situ.
Nyanyi kenapa?
Nyanyi.
Let's go.
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
Time to go.
Loh.
Time to go.
Tuhan dekat ini ya. Kayak Yoing me ya kan.
Need to end a few enemies?
I have gathered everyone here today to make an important announcement. Perhaps some of you will have heard the news already. I am, in fact, planning to rebuild the Jade Chamber.
Rebuild the
Rebuild the
Jade
Jade
Chamber.
Chamber? That's a huge project.
So the rumors are true. No wonder the price of building materials has gone up.
The Jade Chamber means a lot to Lady Ningguang. Getting involved in this would be a huge opportunity.
Lady Ningguang, is there any way we can be of service?
Patience. Since the news made it out a few days ago, I have already had many people contacting me to declare an interest in joining the project. Nevertheless, I do have a few matters I should like to entrust to you here today.
Ntar guys. Cara nengoknya guys.
The building site has been chosen, and most of the materials have been assembled. 3 key items are, however, still outstanding. They are as follows: Sunset Vermilionite, Wonder Cores, and Adepti Sigils.
Uh, excuse my ignorance, Lady Ningguang. I'm familiar enough with Plostrite, but I've never even heard of those other two.
Only sufficiently large pieces of plostrite, or specifically vermilionite, may earn themselves the Sunset moniker. This stone is what allows the Jade Chamber to float. Wonder cores, meanwhile, are the central components of the mechanical structure of the Jade Chamber. Adepti sigils serve as a means of integrating the mechanical devices with Adepti art. They are as indispensable as the mechanical core itself. Although these 3 items are rare, I trust that with your connections and capabilities, I take the saying, time is money, more seriously than most. Efficiency is everything. I will pay a generous price for the materials that you find. And in addition, the first 3 people who collect all, you may ask me anything. And I will give you an honest answer.
These things won't be easy to get hold of. But if it means a chance to get some inside information on Liyue Harbor's development plan for next year...
Then it's the deal of a lifetime. Information from Lady Ningguang is priceless. Whoever gets to it first takes the market.
Haha, what a coincidence. I won't divulge too much, but I heard some murmurings about some Plostrite just the other day. So excuse me all, but, I have some business to do.
No. We better move quickly, or this opportunity...
Ningguang's rebuilding the Jade Chamber? This is...
So you heard my announcement, did you? What do you think? Interested? Yes. Providing the question pertains to something I am knowledgeable about.
Really? Ooh, then Paimon will ask you about how to run a business. Then we'll never be short of Mora ever again.
Of course. But how much information I share with you will depend on your performance. The construction of the Jade Chamber requires a great deal of space. The abandoned mine outside the Golden House has been selected as the building site. Once you have collected the materials, please take them there. I have other business to attend to now. Otherwise, I would gladly escort you to the site in person. Remember, this is a race against the clock. A rare opportunity
Ningguang seems super busy. First, we gotta get out of Eugene Terrace. Huh? Look!
Ma'am, you seem like an eminent and distinguished young lady to me. I can see that you're easily gonna win this procurement contest Lady Ningguang has set up. As it happens, we have some information about the materials that I really think might interest you. Come on!
No.
Don't be like that. Hey, why don't you stand there? After her!
Oh, right, yeah.
After her. Qiang the Brave namanya. Qiang sang pemberani namanya. Bangau pulang mengikuti angin.
Did you hear that? They said they had some useful information. Information's just what we need right now. Let's follow them and see what we can find out. They're not here. Let's keep looking.
Well, will you look at that, ma'am? Don't worry, we're not bad guys. You give us some Mora, we give you a little info. Everybody's a winner.
Boss, I got a bad feeling about this. Look at her, the white hair, the energy she gives off. I'm telling you, they're...
So what? She's loaded. How are we ever going to repay those gambling debts if we just let money walk away from us, huh?
I've already told you, I don't need your information. If you still can't grasp that, I'm happy to repeat it in a way that won't be so easy to forget.
Come on, ma'am. It's not about whether you need the info or not, okay? It's about you taking out your money and handing it over and nobody getting hurt.
What?
I won't.
No more excuses! Yeah, I saw you. Strolling into Leo Lee Pavilion, ordering a table full of food, and only taking a few Then Shinyu at kiosk, then Wanmin restaurant. Same story each time. You order all the signature. How could you afford to be so wasteful if you weren't from a rich family? And since you're so rich, what's the loss to you in giving us a little...
Master warned me not to lay a hand on anyone in Liyue Harbor, but here we are. Perhaps... yes. Let's call it fate.
Boss, I'm telling you, something's not right.
What are you afraid of? We're just selling information. It's not illegal. If she lays a finger on us, all the better. We'll sue her for everything she's worth.
Oh, you again.
Millilith? What are the Millilith doing here? Did you do this? You ought to mind your own business. I swear!
Silence! How dare you threaten innocent civilians?
No, don't be angry.
Kamu tidak apa-apa?
Shenhe,
Hah?
Shenhe?
my name.
Oh, so your name's Shenhe. Paimon's name is, well, Paimon.
The
And
fuck?
this is Paimon's travel buddy.
Gak ada naik namanya pada Kimbe ini.
Oh, I've heard about you two before. Thank you for helping to defuse this. I could have dealt with it myself, though. I suspect smashing his head against the ground a handful of times is all it would have taken to get him to surrender.
You can't do that. That's way too violent. This is Liyue Harbor. There are laws against that kind of stuff, you know.
Laws? No, apparently not.
Really? So how exactly?
That would be my stomach growling.
She's so honest. Wait, that's right. They said you went around all the restaurants ordering. Then of course you're still hungry. So?
Chingson, glaze lily, violet grass. These are my usuals. Medicinal herb?
Kinda hard to explain. Anyway, Booba Pharmacy's not far away. Let's take. After all, you can't work on an empty stomach.
Makan.
Do you think Shenhe might be an adeptus? It seems like it's her first time in Liyue Harbor, and she doesn't seem to get how things work here. If she is an adeptus, that would explain everything. Where does she fit in with the other adepti?
Are you here to buy some herbs? I do hope you brought your
I'm
prescription.
super curious.
Chingson, glaze lily, and violet grass, please. Half a pound of each.
What kind of prescription is this? Sounds more like a lunch order. Oh, here you go. That's everything we have in stock.
Thank you.
She's really eating them.
My hunger has now abated. Thank you. Rather awful. Though they were not completely devoid of sweet fragrance. After consuming a large quantity of them, bitterness is all that...
So, how can you chow down on these and barely touch the restaurant food? If Paimon had enough Mora, Paimon would go to the fanciest restaurant in town and order a whole table of food and eat it all in one go.
Because I'm not sure whether I will remain here in the future. The food of the mortal realm is most delicious, but should I return to the mountains, yearning for the food here shall only pose an obstacle to my continued spiritual development. Sampling each dish in order to appreciate its taste is enough.
Return to the mountains. That proves it. Paimon knew she was an adeptus.
Enough about me. What are your plans from here?
Oh, right. Paimon almost in the Rebuild the Jade Chamber and now we're probably super behind because
I see. I heard some.
Yep! You get to ask Ningguang any question you want. Were you interested in the contest too, Shin?
I came for the rebuilding of the Jade Chamber, but until this point I had no intention of joining a contest. However, you have shown me your kindness, and I would now like to lend you my assistance.
Wow! You really don't have to, but having an Adeptus help out will make things a whole lot easier, so...
Then let's not delay. I have a plan.
Great! Paimon bets this is gonna be the awesomest plan!
I am not sure whether, or to what extent, this plan can be classified as awesome. We simply need to dispose of everyone who is currently ahead of us. Then, we alone shall become the victors.
Vito! That is not acceptable! Not by a long shot!
Really? But I hear that competition is in essence about conflict and one-upmanship.
Look, we want to win this competition. Fans
Anjay.
Sunset Vermilionite, Wonder Cores, and Adepti Sigils.
I was wondering who I could hear arguing over there. So, it's you.
Baiju? What are you doing out?
Lady Ningguang wishes to purchase a large batch of wound dressing. We're running low at the store, so I came out to fetch.
Huh? How come Lady Ningguang needs so much?
I'm not too sure. I did hear she's looking to rebuild the Jade Chamber. Maybe for its first aid on site? I didn't ask, though. Oh, and she also borrowed Chi-Chi. Meaning Boo Boo Pharmacy is very short-handed right now.
No, we've got other stuff to do. While you're here, though, you seem to...
Ah, the variety of plostrite used in the Jade Chamber, yes? There is some mention of it in the Seven Mountain Treatises. When activated, as far as the records show, virtually all Sunset Vermilionite in existence has been mined and taken possession of. But...
Okay, then. Let's go at... Thanks, Baiju.
You're quite welcome. Good luck to you all.
Feiyun.
Master Xingqiu, thank goodness you're finally back.
Oh? Why do I detect an urgency in your voice?
The guild has had a whole string of strange orders in recently. Everyone's been completely caught off guard. Your father gave me specific instructions to ask you to stay and help out if I happen.
I see. Have someone sort the orders by type for now. I'll deal with them myself shortly.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you, Master. With you on the job, I can breathe a sigh of relief.
Hey, Xingqiu! Glad you're here. We want to ask you for some information.
Traveler, Paimon, please wait a moment. Shu, I need to entertain some guests. Please continue with your work for the time being, and we'll discuss the matter of the guild's orders in more detail later on.
Understood, Master Xingqiu. Then I will leave.
I wasn't counting on finding you here today. What's going on? And how, pray tell, may I be of service?
Xingqiu, have you ever heard of Sunset Vermilionite?
Oh, I see. So you've entered Lady Ningguang's contest
As well?
The truth is, the Feiyun Commerce Guild is in possession. We are holding it on behalf of someone who has asked us to put it up for auction. And a lot of interested parties have already come to us. At the end of the day, it all comes down to supply and demand. In this case, I'm guessing the final transaction price may be in excess of 500 million more.
500 million?!
Honestly, I would recommend that you don't bother bidding on this one. The price is greatly inflated, and it's just not worth it.
But without any Sunset
Don't panic. I don't suppose you ever heard of Sea Gazer?
Who?
Sea Gazer was once very close to Mountain Shaper, but if I am not mistaken, he has already passed.
Yes, precisely. I didn't know anyone else knew. According to records of drifting clouds, Sea Gazer once built an abode to store his rarest and most exquisite treasures. After Sea Gazer passed, the abode was abandoned, and its location was lost to time. Luckily, I came into possession of a stack of folk history books just recently. They make some oblique references to this lost abode, and after cross-referencing them against each other, I'm now fairly certain that it is situated in the Lisha area.
That's great! But is it really okay for us to just... Wouldn't it be a little, disrespectful?
You needn't worry. As far as I understand, Seagazer was very open-minded. Even while he was alive, he wouldn't have let something like this bop.
Open-minded? I have not heard of Seagazer being described in this way before. May I ask where you read that?
Just a rumor I heard out in the mountains. All right then.
There's something about this young lady that reminds me of a good friend of mine. Oh, I almost forgot. Adepti abodes tend to have very ingenious designs, especially when it comes to their defense mechanisms. Plus, it's likely to be crawling with monsters after being
Okay, we...
Monster. Monster kita sikat lah, bos.
Let's see. Shincho said it should be around here, but Paimon doesn't see anything.
This place was hidden using a special Adepti art. But now that I have removed it, we can inspect the...
Wow, that's amazing! Yep, let's take another look around. Hey, look! Is that a new Sealy over there?
The fuck?
The Sealy got to here and...
Seagazer abode.
I'll scout ahead. Gonna be epic.
What? Weren't we at a waterfall just now? How did we suddenly end up here? Oh, so many clouds. It feels like we're high up in the sky.
I believe this is the... With any luck, the sunset vermilionite we're looking for should be in here.
Really? Let Paimon see. Look, it's gone and snuck beneath. And now that Paimon takes a closer look, the rocks and trees here don't seem complete. Oh, could there be something?
These are not real clouds. They are the product of an Adepti art used for space. If we want to go down, we must first destroy the mechanism that is maintaining the Adepti.
All right, then let's...
I sense the presence of monsters in this place. I don't know where they are.
Easy, boys. Easy.
Solidify!
Time to go.
Gather!
Beg for mercy. More speed.
Into the wind.
Shudder!
Follow the wind.
It appears that we've been taken for intruders. This time, why not allow me to take care of this? Manifest! Unleash! Beg for mercy. Crush! My will embodied! Cryo incarnate! Flood of frost! I condemn you! The core of the mechanism is exposed. Now's our chance.
Whoa! We're gonna fall! Is everyone okay? Look! Cecilia's disappeared beneath the clouds again!
It looks like we need to go further down. But before that, let's destroy the guard mechanisms on this level first.
The wind knows.
I will have order.
Fallen leaves. Adorn my...
Eye for an eye!
Crumble.
Take your true form! By ordinance divine!
Into the wind.
Beg for mercy. Shudder!
What?
We're gonna fall. This time, we're really gonna fall. Ah! So high. Luckily, there was a pool of water at the bottom. Otherwise, that could have ended very differently. Hey! That Sealy's on the move again. Let's catch up with it. Huh. Something looks different about this stone wall. Let's take a closer look.
The wind knows me.
Ah, GG. Oh, ada. Tepat.
Time to go.
Solidify.
Crush!
This is order.
Unleash! Transfiguration!
Shudder! Rack and ruin! Let's light it up!
Into the wind.
I'm going in! Do your master's bidding! Manifest! Crush! Freeze to the core! Shudder!
Gather!
Tip clouds high. The birds call. One with nature.
Order guide you.
Unleash! Transfiguration!
Wind strike.
Vengeance will be mine!
Look, over there! Could that be the sunset vermilionite?
Sunset Vermilionite. Ah. Share.
Aristocratic etiquette is all just for show. Just smile and nod along. I was forced to learn all of the rules by heart, but even I don't take them that seriously.
Wajib ditonton. Wajib ditonton, ah.
Time to go.
Is this it? Is this the sunset vermilionite? It's so huge! That's true, but then again, why isn't it floating?
Plaustrite doesn't float until it's activated. It may look different from most ordinary stones, but it weighs around the same. Only after being activated does Plaustrite reveal its true nature. breaking free from the shackles of the mortal realm and ascending up into the heavens.
Wow, Shenhe.
Only because my master is fond of chatting about these things. The moment she has some time to spare, she'll come straight for me and start. I don't care for her stories most of the time. I certainly didn't expect them to ever come in handy like this.
Hold on a sec. If we activate it here, there's no way we'll be able to get it back to the site, right? Heck, we'll be dragged up into the sky too! But if we don't activate it, how else are we gonna lift it? This rock must weigh well over...
Don't worry. I can handle the weight quite easily.
Are you sure?
Please don't worry. I'm well aware that a plaustrite sample this large must be highly valuable. I will be gentle with it and make sure it does not get damaged. My safety.
That's right! Paimon's sure you can handle it and everything, but if something this heavy lands on you, you're gonna get yourself hurt, no matter who you are. You gotta be extra careful when lifting heavy objects.
Is it now? I'll go on ahead with the plaustrite. Let's meet at the building site later.
How is Shenhe able to carry that huge rock all by herself?
Huh?
Adepti super strength much? We can't slow down yet. Let's go meet her at the building site.
So weird. So weird. Kalau di situ aja lah. Vermilionite.
Oh my god, I can't believe my eyes.
How can she lift that massive rock all by herself? She's gotta be one of those
Oh, mighty Adeptus, please give me your blessing so that in the coming year I may reap a more bounty.
This is top tier in size and quality, and the condition it's in is quite simply immaculate. I'm going to award you full marks for the Sunset Vermilionite item.
My name isn't important. I'm not even here to compete. I was just delivering this for some other people. They should be here any-
Shenhe! And Ningguang's little helper!
Ah, so you're the ones behind this. No wonder. The rarest talent turns in the rarest. But I have to correct you on one point. It's not.
Okay then, Miss Secretary, what do you think of the rock we found?
In truth, it is the finest piece of. If everything goes according to plan, we will use this piece in the foundation of the Jade Chamber, which will enable us to proceed to the next stage of construction. As a side note, Lady Ningguang has rented some dwellings in the nearby area to serve as accommodations for the contestants. If you need a place to. Now, please excuse me. As you can see, there is still a lot.
Shenhe! Shenhe! Just now on the way over, pretty much everyone was.
Oh, really?
What kind of reaction is that? So strange. Whenever Paimon gets praised, Paimon can't help but hug.
I've had similar compliments before. They call me an Adeptus, treat me with great deference and respect, as if I'm set apart from the common folk.
Yeah, 'cause that's how Adepti are. At least the ones we've met are pretty unique and reclusive, too.
But I am not...
Shenhe?
I'm fine. I've been exerting myself quite a lot ever since...
Well, Byron said that there are some makeshift hotels.
No need. I simply need to find myself a secluded place in the wilderness.
You can't do that. It's dangerous out in the wild, and when you're hungry, you go eat something tasty. And when you're tired, you go lie down in a nice, comfy bed. Alright? Seriously, don't punish yourself like this.
Okay. If you insist.
Great! Now we're talking. Let's head to our hotel.
Ke hotel.
Time to go.
Hi there! Checking in, are we? You're just in time. We only have 2 rooms left. Since this was chosen as the building site for the new Jade Chamber, we've had a constant stream of people in this area. And not just workers either. Visitors, so business is booming for me today. Very few vacancies. You're lucky.
Great!
One of your rooms is still being cleaned. I guess it should be ready within the hour. The other room is just to the... Here are your keys. All right. Hope...
Shenhe, you should go get some rest. We'll hang around outside until the other rooms... Hyman's gonna go see if there's anything good to eat around here. Hyman couldn't help but notice one of the... Let's buy one for Shenhe, too. She can have it as a midnight snack. Or save it for breakfast tomorrow.
All right. I will head to my room for now. If you need anything, don't hesitate to disturb me. I'm a light sleeper. I will hear if you knock on the door. See you tomorrow.
Hey, isn't that Cloud Retainer? What's she doing here? Let's go and say hi.
Suruh masak ini sini gimbik ni. Santai ni sebab ada nasi. Suruh masak ni.
The wind knows me.
One trusts you have met Shenhe. So, are you getting along quite well?
So far, so good. Yeah. So...
Naturally. Save for Ganyu, who spends the majority of her time in Liyue Harbor. All the Adepti living today are acquainted with Shenhe to some degree.
Cool. So, what's her Adeptus name, Annie? Calling her Shenhe feels kind of friendly, but also kind of disrespectful. So Paimon's thinking maybe it'd be better...
Her Adeptus name? Why, pray tell...
Don't all Adepti have a
On this latter point, you are correct. However, Shenhe is human.
Oh, right.
What?
Wait, what? What? You knew already?
Do you mean to say that she presents differently from...
Well, to start with, her problem-solving methods are... extreme.
Ah, yes. She was like this all those years ago when one first met her. In this respect, one first found Shenhe by chance in a cave. One was passing by and sensed the presence of a god's remains. Inside was Shenhe, then aged around 6 years old. In her hand, she held a dagger with which she...
That sounds so...
When one arrived, she had already been locked in confrontation with this monster for several days. Most mortal children are fragile. That she was able to endure such terrible danger was due not only to her strong willpower, but also to the bloodlust and homicidal instinct with which one dealt with the monster. Yet she still refused to lower her guard. She even pointed her dagger in one's direction and remained ready to strike. Only after she was satisfied that one had...
In other words, if you hadn't passed by that day, Shenhe...
Not necessarily. Upon one's arrival, one could sense that the god's wrath was gradually receding. Even had the stalemate continued, one suspects that
That's still so dangerous, though. Why was a tiny little kid battling?
alas, the mortal world is rife with suffering of every kind. And she had experienced her fair share of this, even at a tender age. Seeing that she was homeless. Indeed, it is one to whom she refers. Xianhe has an extraordinary constitution, making her well adapted to practicing. However, her homicidal urges did not subside with age. Rather, Mooncarver once performed a divination for her. He declared that her fate is to bear the curse of calamity. Consumed by malevolent energy, she is prone to bring harm to those around her. The red ropes have indeed served to keep her calmer and more content. They also seem to have rendered her It is only by fate that people's paths may cross. Now that Shenhe's path has crossed with yours, please be
Oh, now Paimon gets it. You came out here to
Huh. You dare draw such a facile conclusion on the nature of one's present excursion? Incorrect. Ningguang once made a bold assertion that this is to be the era of the contract between Liyue and the humans. Well, if she handles it admirably, one is willing to be a witness to her achievements. But if she does not, the Adepti shall not hesitate. Let us conclude our conversation here for today. One has occupied enough of your time, and night is a...
So, Shenhe isn't an Adeptus after all. She just grew up around the Adepti. Oh, no wonder she doesn't like being treated as an Adeptus. Having everyone falling over themselves to show their respect all the time must be kind of hard to deal with.
Jam 8. Masuk hujan mah.
Into the wind.
Hey! So, Shenhe...
Master has relayed my situation to you, I take it.
Oh? How did you know?
I'd intended to wait until you came back before going to sleep, but I didn't hear you come in. I was worried that something may have happened to you. So I went outside to check and caught on top of this. You have been acting very strangely around me this morning, causing me... After all, Master is...
Sorry, Shenhe. Paimon...
It's okay. I don't mind. The fault is mine for not explaining everything to you sooner. Because in my experience, trying to explain is a futile pursuit. Still, though you mistook me for an Adeptus, you never treated me as distant and unapproachable. Instead, you treated... For this, I am very grateful.
To be fair, we've met our fair share of real Adepti, too. Anyway, now it's settled. From now on, you're our friend. Whether you're an Adeptus or a human...
Got it. Although I don't know quite what it entails in terms of what I have to do.
Great! Well, now that we're all rested up, but before we do that, let's go to the building site and ask Ningguang's little helper how the progress is going. After all, Sunset Vermilionite is so rare. Paimon doubts many competitors will really be able to... Oh, and another thing. We bought some grilled chicken drumsticks on the way back last night. There was a place just outside. Here's one for you, Shenhe. Try it! They're so good.
I concur. It has a rich flavor, far more agreeable than those I've cooked for myself in the wilderness in the past.
Look! Look! The Jade Chamber is floating into the sky! But it seems to be tied down something.
That's because it's not finished.
Hey, Bywin! And hey, Beto! And hey! Person Paimon doesn't know?
Given the enormous scale of the Jade Chamber, we split the construction work into 2 phases to make sure before we find some suitable plostrite, we build the Jade Chamber's keel at ground level. Once the plostrite is ready, we place it into the keel and let the partially constructed Jade Chamber rise up to the height of the surrounding mountain peaks. The remainder of the construction work is then carried out at that altitude. Once everything is ready, we release the iron tethers and allow the Jade Chamber to rise to its target altitude.
Miss Bywin, we've brought some new materials to submit.
One moment. I'll be right. The construction work has only been able to progress this rapidly thanks to the plostrite provided by you. Lady Ningguang is most grateful and looks forward to seeing more of your work.
Wow, can't believe you sourced the plostrite so quickly. It's the key piece of the puzzle. Looks like you beat us to the punch.
Beto? You're joining the Jade Chamber?
Sure am. I happened to get my hands on a chunk of Sunset Vermilion item.
Huh. So even though it's rare, we're not the—
Oh, I've got some introductions to do. This is the renowned Miss Yun, or Yunjin, probably the most famous figure in the Liyue opera scene.
Greetings.
These two are Paimon and the Traveler, both good buddies of mine. And this is, sorry, not sure we've met.
Shenhe. I am their friend.
Good to meet you. A friend of a friend is my friend too. Or, as I like to say, a mate of a crewmate is part of the crew. Miss Yun is also here for the contest. Turns out she needed to borrow a boat, so we came together.
It's an honor to finally meet you both. I've heard much about you. Miss Shenhe, though we are only meeting for the first time, I have a feeling that we will get along very well indeed. To be honest with you all, I am in great need of this opportunity to ask Lady Ningguang a question. That's why I joined the contest. Thanks to my father's connections, I was able to acquire a specimen of the plostrite required. Fortunately... Wow! So it looks like the Excuse me for prying, Miss Shenhe, but are you competing as well?
No, I don't have any questions for Ningguang. I just wanted to help him win.
In that case, Lady Ningguang said that the first 3 contestants to procure all 3 materials will be awarded the chance to ask a question. Instead of competing against each other, we could work together to secure the top 3 places between us. Sounds great, but how does it change things exactly?
I think I see where you're going. The plostrite was the most difficult item to source by a long shot. Luckily, all 3 of us managed to get our hands on it. The 2 remaining items aren't quite so rare, so as long as one of us finds a way to source it, the other 2 can hop on the bandwagon. How'd I do? Is that what you had in mind?
Precisely.
Huh. Interesting.
Okay then. All right, I'll go first. I have some from what I've heard, the core itself is really not that difficult to make. The hard part is getting hold of the ore used as raw materials. I'm gonna head back to the ship and ask Suling if he's heard of them. You guys...
We will head into town and seek advice from Master Zhang of Hanfeng's Ironmongers. Thoughts?
Wonderful. We'll split into teams then, and whoever makes progress first brings all of us a step closer to victory. I'm gonna take off. See you later.
Okay, let's go! By the way, what question are you gonna ask Ningguang? I'm looking for a venue to host the performance of our new opera. Lady Ningguang has excellent judgment, so I would like to hear her. Ooh, what's the opera called? Paimon wants to... The opera is a labor of love by my father. He wrote it based on a popular urban legend about an evil spirit, and it's called the...
Wondercore. What?
Time to go.
Ah, hello. Are you here for...
Excuse me, Master Zhang. We were wondering if you'd heard of something.
Of course I have. Sorry,
My name is Yunjin. Perhaps you don't know me, but I believe that you forged some weaponry for my father in the past.
Yunjin? Stage use? Oh, sorry. My brain's finally caught up. It's not used to doing much beyond bashing a hammer all day. Everyone's heard of you, Miss Yoon. Even folks... So, you're here to ask about Wonder Cores, huh? As it happens, I do know how to make them. Matter of fact, the types of ore needed to make Wonder Cores are a little hard to come by. Lady Ningguang supplied them herself last time.
No? We were gonna ask you what kinds of ore...
Sure. Well, you'll need two kinds. If I remember correctly, Lady Ningguang sourced her Star Splinter iron from the Mount Tianheng area. It could take some work, but if you stick with it, you'll find some eventually. As for the Subrosium, though, that's trickier. It's all, I'm really not sure. Sorry. What I've heard is that the people around Mount Tianheng... Of course, it's probably just hearsay. If you want my advice, start by looking for Star Splinter iron around Mount Tianheng. And if you run into...
Mount Tianheng.
Interestingly enough, the story of the divine dam... I hear the view there is quite spectacular. A favor, just... Perhaps it can give me some inspiration. Let's not delay.
Tianheng. Mana pun Tianheng.
I came to Mount Tianheng once with my father as a child. I remember it being such a long climb that I could barely feel my legs by the time we reached the top. This is quite a trip down memory lane for me. Look at these majestic, towering peaks and the gently flowing streams. It's like setting foot in paradise. No wonder the legend of the divine damsel of devastation is said to have taken place here. Adepti wander oft where mortals seldom stride. Indeed. The divine damsel of devastation is your upcoming opera, right? And the story takes place in Mount Tianheng. Huh. Seems like you have a real connection with... What's the story about? It's the story of a girl Cool! A hero story? The legend first arose in this area. It is said that there used to be a prosperous village In that village, there was a loving couple who were completely devoted to one another. The wife was out collecting herbs and was captured by the monster. Her husband was so distraught at the news that it broke his spirit and drove him to madness. The vile and vicious monster told the villagers, if you want to live, you must sacrifice a child. What a nasty piece of work! Paimon sure hopes this monster gets put... But the monster was so terrible and so strong that all within the village were terrified of it. They had Just while they were discussing whose child would be given over to the monster, a little girl suddenly stood up and came forward. No! Don't do it! Unbeknownst to anybody else, she was concealing an exorcist's blade. She approached the monster's lair, feigning fear and trepidation. When she finally arrived, she courageously drew her sword and entered into a fierce... Her extraordinary abilities drew the attention of the Adepti, and they took her as one of their own. Her story became the stuff of legends. But alas, the paths of mortals and Adepti seldom cross, and she would never again re-enter the mortal world. And so, destined to grace the mortal realm for but a brief moment, She vanished like a wisp of smoke into thin air. That's how the opera ends.
I really like this story. But I personally think that perhaps the little girl was not as brave as the opera makes her out to be. I'm not sure she deserves all the praise she is given.
I've never considered opera is always an interpretation of the events it purports to portray. A certain degree of deviation from the truth is always inevitable.
Dia cerita tentang si Shenhe tadi.
When my father wrote the script for this play, I suppose his intention was to
I think it's a great story. The ideal story.
Well, it sure inspired Paimon! Let's go get ourselves some stars!
Piamon, Piamon. Ada Feli wah. Mak, Kimbe di sini belum. Bodoh juga ya, Bang.
The wind knows me.
Star Splinter Vision.
This should be enough Star Splinter iron. Now we just need to find that Subrosium. I think I saw a village on our way here. Master Zhong said we should ask the locals for help. Why don't we try there?
Beg for
mercy. Hey, there really is someone here. Yunjin, looks like you were right. Huh. He didn't seem to catch. Hello, sir. We were just passing by and wanted to ask if you happen to know. Is he trying to tell us to look for clues in the village? Shenhua, Yunjin.
Sorry, you can go ahead without me. I'd like to have a word with this gentleman.
Ini kayak bapaknya nih.
If that's okay with you, Uncle Mingjin.
It's
Shenhe.
Shinho. You're alive. I'm sorry, I don't know how to find Subrosium. But I think you can find some information. This place is deserted now. No one ever comes here. So you could...
Huh? You know... Thank you, kind sir. Well, don't worry. Mingjun has no ill intention towards Miss Shenhe. Okay, then let's see what we can find in this village.
Masuk lagi.
What's this? So, Shenhe is the divine damsel? Now that I think about it, she does behave rather like an so that's why I've been getting the strangest feeling whenever I chat with her. I should have noticed it earlier. According to this text, the divine damsel from the opera was actually the daughter of the loving couple. And she didn't volunteer. She was sacrificed to the monster by her own father. Oh, the truth is even more lamentable than the opera. Now I understand why Shenhe said the girl was not as brave as people think. It wasn't her choice to enter that ghastly situation. She was forced into it. Oh, it looks like my father may need to...
Time to go.
So it seems that Shenhe's father thought he was summoning a benevolent deity using a magic incantation. But in fact, he summoned an evil god's remains, which took the form of a monster. His obsessive yearning for his deceased wife led to a terrible tragedy. The villagers moved away in fear, without ever learning the truth. And now, still, I do wonder what the connection is between Shenhe and... We've looked everywhere, but still no mention of Sabrosium. Let's have a look over there. This is it! So basically, we need to go to the middle of the lake south of Mount Tianheng at dusk, and we'll find us. Let's go back and tell Shen.
One year when I was back visiting, I heard a story about a white-haired adeptus from a merchant passing by. I was a very close friend of your father's. I could have stopped him from performing the summoning ritual. I had plenty of chances, but I couldn't I bring flowers back here every year. And each time I wish I had a chance to apologize to you.
Apologize for what? If you'd stopped him, he'd only have found another. There is nothing he wouldn't have done for his true love. Nothing.
Do you still hate?
I don't know what I feel. I'm told my fate is to bear the curse of calamity, so my master bound my soul with red ropes to curb my aggression. But it also dampened my emotions, making me dispassionate. So if you ask me how I feel about the past, if I hate my father or not...
It must have been so tough for you all these years.
Shenhe, we're back!
Oh, then I will leave you all in peace. Shenhe, I'll tell you more about the old times next...
Thanks, mister. We found some info in the end. Shenhe, look. This tells us how to find Sabrosium. All we gotta do...
Let's go then.
Miss Shenhe, there's something I'd like to talk to you. Just now, in the village, we found your father's diary.
Why?
I know I say that opera always deviates from the truth, but now that the main character is standing right here in front of me, I cannot simply dismiss your lived experience.
It's okay. I like your... My master once said that the day I learn how to use my strength for the good of others is the day that I can truly become part of humans. So, I hope that one day I might be brave enough to stand up and protect others, just like the girl in the opera. But I've never thought this way before, and I wonder whether I will continue to think in this way.
Don't worry. I believe you will. In fact, I think maybe you've already started to become the person you aspire to be. You just haven't had the opportunity. Shenhua! Yunjin! Cut the chit-chat! Let's go! We can't let someone else beat us to it!
The scenery is wonderful.
That's everything we need! Let's head back and report in! Paimon's curious if Beto's made any progress.
What the fuck? Ngapain Pak ada Xiao sini?
What brings you here? Have they found a solution to the danger in the sea? Ningguang didn't tell you. Something has happened in Guyan Stone Forest. According to the contract, but these things can be unpredictable. I have a contingent. Only a single mountain lies between here and Liyue Harbor. If things get out of control, I will defend this place myself.
The fuck, though? What the fuck, dude?
More speed.
Something wrong here, man. Something wrong here.
Oh.
So, are they okay?
This is some top quality ore you found. I guess now it's my time to
Hey everyone, how's the A-team doing? I ran into a bit of a brick wall on my end. Suling's never seen a Wonder Core before.
Leave the Wonder Cores to me. Don't worry.
Much obliged, Master Zhang. We should look into the Adepti sigils next. But where should we find items relating to the Adepti?
I'll sort that out.
Oh? You got this?
Yes. I have been training with the... When we first met, I told you I came for the Jade Chamber, not the... In fact, I came specifically to deliver Adepti sigils. Master heard that Ningguang was planning to rebuild the Jade Chamber, so she sent me to deliver some Adepti Master also said she hoped that I can take this opportunity to rejoin human society. But now that I'm here, I wonder if I've been removed from the world for too long. There's so much basic knowledge that maybe it won't work for me to stay here after all. But either way, I'm very glad to have met you. And I'll...
Without knowing the ins and outs of your situation, I can't say whether you should stay or not. But now that our paths have crossed, we'll always have a connection. So if you're ever feeling down, come find me on my ship.
Thank you. So, Master Zhang, I'll need to use your facilities to make the sigils.
Fine by me. I'm actually curious to see how the Adepti arts work.
Whew. The sigils are ready. Though they are in some respects inferior to my master's.
I've finished forging the things you asked for, too.
Great! Let's go submit them before someone else gets...
Sebelum keduluanan orang. Baby. Wonder Core. Wonder fucking Core.